Denver International Airport. Its very name conjures images of flight, travel, and connection. Yet, for many, it evokes something far more unsettling: a labyrinth of secrets, a canvas of cryptic warnings, and a monument to mysteries buried deep beneath its sprawling runways. Is it merely an airport, a gateway to the skies, or something far more sinister? What truly lies beneath its extensive grounds? Are the strange murals, the imposing blue horse, and the whispers of underground tunnels just architectural quirks? Or are they breadcrumbs leading to a truth the public was never meant to discover? The story begins with ambition. In the late 1980s, Denver envisioned a state-of-the-art aviation hub, a modern marvel designed for efficiency and to propel the city into the 21st century. Promises of unparalleled convenience, cutting-edge technology, and a boost to local pride echoed through the city's halls. However, even in its nascent stages, the project, destined to become Denver International Airport, began to show cracks. Land acquisition became fraught with controversy, displacing residents and raising eyebrows. Construction delays, initially dismissed as minor setbacks typical of such a colossal undertaking, soon became a persistent, troubling pattern. Then came the numbers. The initial budget, a staggering sum in itself, began to inflate at an alarming rate. What started as a multi-billion-dollar endeavor quickly spiraled into an unprecedented financial black hole. By its completion, DIA had become one of the most expensive public works projects in history, vastly exceeding its original projections. The public outcry was immediate and fierce. Whispers of gross mismanagement morphed into accusations of corruption, then escalated into theories of something far more sinister: a clandestine agenda veiled by financial chaos. Why such colossal overruns? What was truly absorbing these astronomical sums? As the airport neared completion, its artistic embellishments began to emerge, further fueling public unease. Leo Tanguma's murals, displayed prominently within the terminal, were anything but typical airport decor. Instead of serene landscapes or welcoming images, visitors were confronted with vivid, disturbing scenes: gas-masked soldiers wielding swords, crying children huddled amidst ruins, and burning cities under a darkened sky. One mural, "Children of the World Dream of Peace," depicted a figure resembling a Nazi officer, while another, in peace and harmony with nature, showed dead animals and a grieving girl. These were not simply abstract art. They felt like apocalyptic warnings, leading many to speculate about symbolism tied to the New World Order or a hidden elite agenda. Adding to the chilling atmosphere was the colossal sculpture guarding the airport's entrance. Blue Mustang, more famously known as Blucifer, created by artist Luis Jimenez, the 32-foot-tall fiberglass horse with its glowing red eyes, was imposing and undeniably unsettling. Its backstory only deepened the mystique. Jimenez tragically died when a section of the sculpture fell on him during its creation. For many, Blucifer became a malevolent omen, its satanic symbolism undeniable, its red eyes seemingly watching all who arrived and departed. When viewed individually, the budget overruns, the disturbing murals, and the cursed blue horse were unsettling enough. But combined, they formed a tapestry of profound unease. The sheer volume of anomalies, the almost deliberate provocation of the art, and the astronomical, unexplained costs all contributed to a pervasive feeling that something isn't right at Denver International Airport. It was as if the airport itself was trying to tell a story, a dark narrative etched into its very foundations. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Are these just artistic choices and construction woes? Or are they breadcrumbs leading to a deeper secret buried beneath the runways? The unsettling feeling that permeated Denver International Airport began to deepen when attention turned to what lay beneath its polished surfaces. Whispers of vast, unused underground spaces weren't just rumors. They were a tangible, if often unseen, reality. The airport boasted an extensive network of subterranean tunnels, an intricate labyrinth stretching for miles beneath the runways and terminals. Officially, these passages were designed for the automated baggage handling system, for utility lines, and for future expansion. Yet visitors and even some employees found their scale baffling. Many tunnels appeared over-engineered, leading seemingly to nowhere, or to sealed-off sections with no apparent purpose. Eyewitness accounts, often shared in hushed tones, spoke of unexpected doors in remote corridors, of areas perpetually under construction, but never seeming to change, hinting at a hidden world far more complex than simple baggage routes. Central to this subterranean mystery was the infamous automated baggage system itself. Touted as revolutionary, a marvel of modern engineering that would whisk luggage from check-in to plane with unparalleled efficiency, it became a spectacular failure. Millions upon millions were poured into its development and installation, only for it to be abandoned shortly after the airport opened, deemed unworkable. The colossal infrastructure, a maze of tracks and machinery, now lay largely dormant beneath the airport. For many, this wasn't just a technological mishap. It was a convenient, incredibly expensive cover. How could such an advanced, costly system fail so spectacularly? Or was its true purpose never about baggage at all? The sheer scale of the unused infrastructure, lying silent and dark, begged the question: what other activities could such a vast, forgotten underground network facilitate? The deeper one delved into DIA's design, the more apparent became the pervasive undercurrent of esoteric symbolism. It wasn't just the murals or Lucifer. The very fabric of the airport seemed infused with hidden meanings. A commemorative plaque, bearing the inscription New World Airport Commission, with its dedication to those who have built this airport and to all who will follow, raised immediate suspicion. The phrase New World immediately triggered associations with secret societies and globalist agendas. Throughout the terminal, gargoyles peered down from high perches, their watchful eyes adding to the unsettling atmosphere. Masonic symbols were subtly or not so subtly incorporated into various architectural details. For those already predisposed to seeing patterns, these weren't mere decorative choices. They were deliberate signposts, hinting at the influence of powerful, secretive organizations like the Illuminati or Freemasons, using the airport as a canvas for their hidden messages. This wealth of unusual features and symbolism inevitably converged into one of the most pervasive theories surrounding DIA, its true function as a doomsday bunker. The airport's robust, almost fortress-like construction, its deep underground levels, and the sheer amount of money poured into its development all contributed to the narrative. Many believed that beneath the public facade of an airport lay a self-sufficient, vast underground complex, designed to serve as a safe haven for the global elite during a catastrophic event, be it a nuclear war, a pandemic, or societal collapse. The thought was chilling. While the unsuspecting public flew overhead, a chosen few would retreat to a lavish hidden sanctuary, funded by taxpayer money. The airport then was not merely a hub for travel, but a clandestine facility for the survival of a select group, built to withstand the end of the world. Amidst these grand theories, more human, albeit equally unsettling, narratives began to emerge. Fictionalized accounts, often attributed to a former construction worker or an ex-employee, spoke of things they saw. These whispers described unusual activity in restricted areas, strange equipment being moved in the dead of night, or sections of the tunnels that were inexplicably off-limits, even to those with high-level clearance. The fear associated with speaking out was palpable in these stories, suggesting that whatever secrets were buried beneath DIA, they were fiercely guarded. One such tale described an unmarked, reinforced steel door, deep within the furthest reaches of the tunnel system, its presence a stark mystery amidst the abandoned baggage tracks. It stood as a silent sentinel, implying vast, hidden spaces beyond, a final, impenetrable layer guarding whatever truths lay at the airport's very core. Despite the swirling vortex of theories, official explanations for each anomaly at Denver International Airport were consistently offered, often with a practiced air of dismissiveness. The astronomical budget overruns, for instance, were attributed to the inherent complexities of such a monumental project, unforeseen geological challenges, and the notoriously fickle nature of large-scale construction. These were all presented as typical hurdles for any endeavor of DIA's magnitude, rather than indicators of something more profound. The controversial murals by Leo Tanguma, with their stark imagery of war and environmental devastation, were steadfastly defended as exercises in artistic freedom, powerful anti-war statements, and calls for global peace. The official stance suggested that any darker interpretations were simply misunderstandings of the artist's profound message. Similarly, Blucifer, the menacing blue Mustang, was explained as a tribute to the untamed spirit of the American West, its glowing red eyes merely stylistic choices by the late Luis Jimenez. Its tragic backstory, while sad, was deemed irrelevant to its artistic intent. The extensive, seemingly over-engineered tunnel systems were justified as provisions for future expansion, necessary utility access, and the operational backbone for the airport's automated systems, despite the latter's spectacular failure. That failure, in turn, was chalked up to technological ambition exceeding practical implementation, a common pitfall in pioneering engineering. Each explanation, when viewed in isolation, held a degree of plausible deniability. Yet, when considered collectively, they began to fray at the edges, revealing inconsistencies and a persistent reluctance to fully address the public's unease. The official narratives, while delivered with authority, often felt like carefully constructed facades, designed to obscure rather than illuminate. The sheer volume of these oddities each met with a somewhat unconvincing official explanation, cultivated an environment where genuine skepticism flourished. The human mind, naturally inclined to seek patterns and meaning, found itself confronted with too many coincidences, too many unanswered questions. In this fertile ground of doubt, the conspiracy often became far more compelling than the truth. The lack of genuine transparency, the subtle evasions, and the almost patronizing tone of official responses inadvertently lent credence to the more outlandish theories. When facts are obscured, imagination fills the void, often with narratives far more dramatic and intricate than reality. This deep-seated fascination with DIA's secrets tapped into a primal human element: fear. The theories resonated because they spoke to universal anxieties about control, about hidden power structures manipulating our lives, and about existential threats looming on the horizon. The idea of a clandestine elite preparing for doomsday, or of powerful secret societies orchestrating global events from behind the scenes, was both terrifying and, for some, oddly comforting. It offered a grand, albeit dark explanation for the chaos of the world, a sense that there was a plan, even if that plan was sinister. It was easier perhaps to believe in a malevolent design than in random, meaningless chaos. Despite the tireless efforts of officials to debunk the myths, the core unanswered questions continued to fuel the conspiracies. Why was so much secrecy maintained around certain aspects of the construction? Why was such provocative, often disturbing art chosen for a public space meant to welcome travelers? And why, despite all assurances, did a persistent feeling of unease cling to the very air of Denver International Airport? These questions, like unyielding ghosts, refused to be laid to rest. Today, the legends persist, a lingering shadow cast over the bustling terminals. Denver International Airport stands as a modern-day myth, a sprawling monument to the power of human imagination and suspicion. It has become a symbol of hidden truths, a place where official narratives clash with public perception, and where the line between reality and elaborate conspiracy often blurs. Perhaps some mysteries are indeed more powerful when left unsolved, their ambiguity feeding a collective fascination that no amount of official explanation can extinguish. For in the murky depths where transparency fails, conspiracy often thrives, leaving us to ponder the true nature of the Denver International Airport.